many families in Cuba, the announcement of a prisoner release is an answer to their prayers. Elsa Morejon's husband, Oscar Elias Bisset, is one of the prisoners.
I think it's going to change me. It's going to improve my emotional state. I feel complete as a woman, as a wife, and as a professional, but the separation from him has been very hard.
The prisoner release would be Cuba's largest in years. Peter Hakem with the Inter-American Dialogue says he is cautiously optimistic.
It's always a mistake to predict too much, to read too much into anything that happens in Cuba, because we've been disappointed time and time again that an opening on the right turns out to be a closing on the left. An opening today turns out to be repression tomorrow.
But Philip Peters of the Lexington Institute says the government's willingness to open dialogue with the Catholic Church shows that things are slowly changing in Cuba.
Certainly there's something very new going on right now in Cuba. Well, that doesn't solve the human rights problem in Cuba, but it's a very positive thing.
Many Americans in the business community are hoping the prisoner release prompts U.S. lawmakers to lift decades-old trade and travel restrictions.
I think that people are more willing now than before to begin to experiment, to begin to try and break away from this 50-year-old policy that doesn't seem to be producing much.
The U.S. House of Representatives is considering a bill that would reverse a ban on U.S. citizens traveling to Cuba. Patrick Kilbride of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce supports the bill and wants lawmakers to end the embargo.
I would argue that the embargo has made a martyr out of Fidel Castro and helped to prop up the communist regime because he has such a convenient scapegoat to the north.
But Peter Hakem says those who support the embargo point to Cuba's human rights record and authoritarian government.
The United States holds out as one of its primary values, democracy. Why should we reward Cuba in some ways?
Cuba maintains it has no political prisoners, only mercenaries who Havana says are working with the U.S. to undermine Cuban communism. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton reacted positively to the news of the prisoner release, but she did not discuss the embargo.
We welcome this. We think that's a positive sign. It's something that is overdue, but nevertheless very welcome.
Americans with a stake in Cuba will be watching to see if the White House will take steps to improve relations with Cuba. Elizabeth Lee, VOA News.